Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you guys are in the world. Today I have such an exciting video. It was a video that I didn't think I was going to film so soon. However, there's going to be a lot of changes coming soon, and they're not bad changes in the slightest. We are just having some work done on our house soon, so I thought today would be such a great chance to show you guys what my bookshelf looks like. I'm going to give you a bookshelf tour, a TBR cart tour. We're going to talk all about the books that are on my shelf. I haven't done an updated bookshelf tour since I posted my very first bookshelf tour, and that must have been almost a year ago now. I have acquired a lot more books, and when I mean a lot more, like I mean a shit ton of books. I have got so many books, my shelves are stacked. I think this would be such a good chance for me as well to go through the books that I have and see if I can unhaul any of them. So if you guys would like to see my updated bookshelves, then carry on watching, but don't forget to subscribe, like this video. I'm going to start off with my TBR cart. So this I actually bought off of Amazon, and it was about £25 when I got it. So it's a 3-tier stackable cart. It's basically like a trolley cart. So this has been one of my favorite purchases ever. So as I said, there's 3 tiers. I've tried to kind of put the books in genres. At the bottom we have fantasy, then we have romance, like basically any romance, because I kind of read any romance at the moment. I love my sports romances. I'm yet to read cowboy romances. They are on the cart, as you can see. And then at the top here I just have my Kindle. I also have a few books underneath there, and then I have some stickers, and I also have some bookmarks. There's a candle and a photo of Owen in the background. And then this little love heart thing here was from TK Maxx. I bought it for Valentine's Day. However, I think it's going to stay up because I really, really love it. I'm trying to crouch down so you guys can actually see me, but I think what I'm going to do is just pull out the books, show you guys the books, and then we'll move on to the next shelf, and so on. We're going to start with the books down here. So if I just get these out quickly. The first couple of books that I have is actually the paperbacks of the Throne of Glass series. So I have the Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnight. And you might be thinking, Meg, I swear you've got the hardback books of these two. That is correct. Have I read any of them yet? Absolutely not. So I actually might unhaul these, as I got the hardbacks for my birthday. I do want to get to this series, but I really didn't want to put the hardbacks on the cart because they're so lovely and they just look so good on my shelf. So I could unhaul these. I probably should. Will I? I'll let you guys know. And then moving on, I have some of the Shatter Me series. So I have Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, Defy Me. Now I know there's been like a massive readathon because a new book is coming out. I don't know if it's already out now by the time I filmed this, but I have got these books. I really want to read these. One of my book besties, Eden, she's been reading these books, and I need to read them, but I've got so many other books that for me personally take priority that I just haven't got around to these, and these books have been on my shelf for so long. So these are probably going to stay on the carts because I do want to get to them. I just need to find the right time. I'm such a mood reader, so I kind of just pick up whatever I fancy at the time. So hopefully I will pick these up very, very soon. Behind those books we have Feybound, which has been on this TBR cart for almost forever. I need to get around to reading this. I really want to read this, as the second book in the series has come out now. There's a big book at the back here, and that's just my boyfriend Owen's. That's his comic book, so I'm going to leave that there. And then we have the first 2 books in the Lightlark saga. So this is by Alex Astor. We have Lightlark here and Nightbane, and I believe the third one is called Skyshade. I almost picked it up the other week, but I haven't read these yet, and I feel like I should really read these before I just go and buy the third book. Normally I do buy every single book in a series if I'm planning on reading the series. However, I haven't been doing that lately, and I'm not sure if that's growth or if that's just me being silly, but I love these covers. I think they're so gorgeous. I'm gonna have to like pop that over there just for now. This shelf I believe is double stacked, so we've got quite a few on here. So this is the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. So we have Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless and Hopeless. Again, I know so many of my like bookish friends and so many booktubers who rave about this series. So these books are interconnecting. We follow a bunch of different characters. I have had these for so long. I think I brought these books a couple of weeks before I filmed my last bookshelf tour, so I've had them for a while. I need to actually get around to reading them. I think I'm just intimidated by romance books that are bigger than 200 pages, and I just need to bite the bullet and do it because I've heard they're such easy reads, they're very fast paced, and I've heard there's some smut, so I should definitely get around to reading these. The next book that I have is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is one of the book series that I really want to read this year. I have heard so many good things about this series, and so many of my bookish friends again rave about it. So I believe there's 5 books that have been released, and I think Chloe Walsh actually just announced a 6th book, and I think there's going to be like 10 in total, which is insane. Moving on, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I really wanted to read this last summer, but I didn't get around to it, so I'm saving it for this year. And the same with 7 Summers by Paige Toon. Fun fact, Paige Toon actually follows me on TikTok, which is like my biggest flex ever. Then we have the first 3 books of the Windy City series. So we have Right Move, Mile High, and Caught Up by Liz Tomford. I believe there's a 4th book that's just come out, but these are all sports romances. I'm not sure if they're interconnected or not, but I love a sports romance. It's probably my favourite romance trope or genre at the moment, so I'm really excited to read those. Then we have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I have not read a Lucy Score book yet. I actually have a Christmas book from her up on my main shelf, which I never got around to reading, and I'm gutted. This will be interesting. This is the first book from the, I think it's the Knockmount series. Then we have the last 3 books of the Off Campus series. So I have read The Deal, The Mistake, and now I've got The Score, The Goal, and The Legacy by Elle Kennedy to read. They're ice hockey romances. They are all interconnected. I just love an interconnected romance series. I love the aspect of like a found family, so I really want to get around to these books. Next up we have Bloodstream by Emily Carter. I am yet to read this. It's a sports romance. It's an F1 motorsports romance, so I'm actually probably going to take this with me when I go to Silverstone. And then we also have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This is by Laurie Gilmore. I brought this when this was really hyped last autumn. I never got around to reading it, so I will be reading it this autumn. Then we have Daisy Jones and the Six, which I feel like I'm the only person alive to have not read this yet. This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I actually love this author so much. I read One True Loves, and The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was the book that actually got me back into reading. I need to read this. I haven't even watched the show yet. Like, that's how out of touch I am with this. And then we have Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. So this, I've had so many recommendations to read this. Again, haven't got around to it. I think it's like a sports high school romance book, and I love the cover. It's just so cute. I'm just going to move you guys up slightly, and then up in this top bit I actually just keep my Kindle, which I need to go through my Kindle stickers. And the only book I actually have on this top shelf is actually Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. Now I do own Magnolia Parcs. One of my best friends is just borrowing it at the moment, so I've got this. I really want to read this book. Again, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I've also got a bunch of stickers that stay in this like shell pots here. This is actually from my best friend Becca, and I have a candle here from Owen, and then these are all of my bookmarks, and I have got a few highlighters. I've got some more stickers as well. I have so much bookish stuff, I don't know where to put it, so if I don't know what to do with things, I just shove them in a mug and it looks cute. So this is the top shelf of my main bookshelf. I try to, again, kind of put these into genres and authors. So the top shelf is all fantasy. I've got some young adult up here. I've got some of my favorite series. I've just tried to zoom in a little bit so I can show you guys the books. So we're going to start off up here. I've got 3 books from Lauren Roberts. So I have the first and the second book from the Powerless trilogy, and I've also got the short novella, which is Powerful. Then we've got the Carabao series here by Stephanie Garber. Now this is a series that I have just recently finished, and I adored it. I loved it so much. It's young adult, it's great. I will probably rave about this series forever. I haven't read the short novella because I think it's like a Christmassy themed novella and I want to leave that until Christmas. Then we have the infamous acotar series here. This is by Sarah J Maas. A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. And hopefully we will get a release date for the 6th book. This is a series that I would highly recommend if you are starting to get into fantasy. It's so good and I would do anything to read these books again for the first time. Moving on to the hardbacks here. So all of these are hardback. The first 2 books here are 2 books I've recently just bought. We've got Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. This has recently just come out, so I picked that up. We've also got Sunrise on the Reaping, and this is actually just the cover because I am currently reading this book and I just find sometimes it's easier to read a hardcover without. Next up we have some of my favourite hardback books. This is the special editions of the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. As you can see here, we have the most amazing dust covers and the actual books themselves are absolutely gorgeous. I don't know whether to leave the covers on or show the books because they're both just so stunning. So for now I've just kept the covers on. This is the special edition of the short novella. This is Powerful. Again, these dust covers are absolutely stunning and the book itself is just gorgeous. And this is Reckless here, which came out last year, and this one has the red book. I love these and I've actually pre-ordered the hardback of Fearless, which again comes out next week, so I will be reading that very, very soon. And then we have the Fourth Wing series by Rebecca Yarros. This is my favorite fantasy series ever. These books are my guilty pleasure. So we've got Fourth Wing, we've got Iron Flame, and then we have Onyx Storm. And the one thing that I really love about these books is that each book comes with like a bit of artwork in the front, and it's just so nice. Like, look at Xaden and Violet there, like, are you kidding me? And then we have a new purchase of mine, which is Heavenly Bodies. I bought this not so long ago. I heard so many good things from What Emmy Reads and I had to get it. That is my top shelf. These are all my fantasy books that I absolutely adore. So we're going to move on to the shelf underneath. This is my next shelf. Again, we have some more fantasy books, so I'm going to start with these ones here. My boyfriend actually bought me the Once Upon a Broken Heart series for Valentine's Day. This is like a spin-off series from Caraval, and we follow Jax, one of the characters out of Caraval. These book covers are absolutely gorgeous. I've just popped them there for now because hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to be having an upgrade with my bookshelf. I'm actually going to show you guys my special edition of Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, there's a really funny story behind this. Owen took me to Waterstones. He gave me £10 in cash and he said, get whatever book you'd like. Nothing was taking my fancy. There was nothing that I really wanted to get until I saw this, because I had just finished the acotar series, and although it was £20 over budget, he still bought it for me, and honestly I love him for that. Just look at how gorgeous this special edition is. It's absolutely stunning, and we have Thera down here. Honestly, I cannot wait to read this version. I know it's the exact same, but again, there's something about a hardcover, there's something about a special edition and a reread, and honestly, it might have to be done. I feel like I should have a shelf just dedicated to Sarah J Maas, but I have the whole of the Throne of Glass hardback series here. These are my pride and joy. I've never read them. However, they are absolutely gorgeous and I cannot wait to read them. It is on my TBR. I'm just trying to get all of my most anticipated reads and releases of the year done in the first half of the year. And then we also have Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. So we have House of Earth and Blood, we have House of Sky and Breath, and then we have House of Flame and Shadow. And moving on to the books, so starting over in this corner, I have my collection of Emily Henry books, which I am yet to read. I have got You and Me on Vacation, Book Lovers, Beach Read, and Happy Place. Moving on, I've got the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace. So I have Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream. Following on after that, we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series. So we have The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. I cannot wait for this to come out on Amazon Prime this year. I Hope they do the book justice. I'm a Conrad girly, so if we don't get Conrad and Belly, I will be annoyed. And then we have the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. I am in two minds about keeping these because I have not reached for them. I don't think I'm actually going to. I think maybe I should just unhaul them, but I don't know if I'm missing out. Let me know down below if you feel like I'm missing out and I should actually read them. Next up, I have a Page Toon book. This is 5 years from now. This was the very first blind date with a book that I got. And then we have Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score, and I got this from one of my best friends, Jade. I have the Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Then I have Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And then I have the most gut-wrenching series I have ever read in my life. This is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I have the two paperbacks here, and then I also got this special edition for my birthday from Owen because he knew how much this book killed me and how much it made me cry, so he just felt the need to make me cry even more because look how stunning. Then I have my shorts collection of Christmas books. We've got A Merry Little Meet Cute, The Christmas Fix, and How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I actually only read How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn last year, so the top two are hopefully going to be read this year. Then I've just got a few rogue books at the top. So I have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which I bought last week. It's a sports romance. And I also have Beartown by Frederick Backman. And then the first two books from the Off-Campus series, which I've already read. And then I've also got this hardback of The Favourites by Lane Fargo. I didn't know where to put this because this shelf is kind of like my romancy Christmas, not really sure where to put books shelf. I thought it could just sit there, but now I kind of want it to have its own shelf. This is my bottom shelf. Now, I don't particularly like this shelf in any way, shape or form. Honestly, I kind of resent this shelf. I'll be completely honest with you guys. A lot of the books on here I have read, and I have read years ago, and some of them are books that I just bought and will probably never pick up. This is my copy of the A Course of Silver Flames book that I took to Greece with me, and it just completely died on me. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but it just completely, like, it just snapped in half when I was reading it. So I should get rid of this, but I'm attached to it, so I'm not really sure if I will. We've got Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. I'm going to unhaul this for sure. I haven't read this. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years now, and I don't think I'm ever going to read it. Starting down here, we have the After series by Anna Todd. I loved these books and I loved the films up until about After We Fell, and then it kind of just fell flat for me. So we have After We Collided, After We Fell, After Ever Happy, and there is actually a book called Before, but I just haven't read that. Then I have one of my favourite book series ever, which is the Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer. I read them in my teenage years. If you couldn't tell, I absolutely ate up Breaking Dawn. This was one of my favourite books ever at the time. We have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and my god-awful version of Breaking Dawn. I think I might get the new hardback versions of these books. If you've seen them, you know what I mean. Should have moved that in the first place. Then we have the Hunger Games books. So I've got The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Again, once I've got my new bookshelf, I am going to get the hardback versions of these because they are absolutely gorgeous. Then I have a few self-help books which I honestly, like, I kind of want to get rid of them. So I have The Seat of the Soul, I have Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before, and then I have Atomic Habits. So I've got the whole of the Harry Potter series here. I've actually only read up until book 4, so I really want to read the rest of the series because Harry Potter is my guilty pleasure. It's one of my favourite movie series ever. I also have Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Again, I haven't really read this. I've had this for so long, so I don't know if I'm going to read it or not. Then I have Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Then we have Where the Crawdads Sing. We have another Christmas book. This is by Sarah Morgan. This is The Christmas Escape. We have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, as well as The Seven Husbands of Evan and Hugo and Malibu Rising. Now this could be such a controversial take on this book. I DNF'd this. Honestly, I was loving it when I was reading it, and then I just never went back to it, so I just didn't finish it. Then we have 5 Feet Apart, Call Me By Your Name, One of Us Is Lying, You'll Be the Death of Me, The Silent Patient, which is very, like, popular on TikTok, Gone Girl, and then I have Working Hard, Hardly Working by Grace Beverly, and The Mountain Is You. And that is everything on my bookshelves. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. I absolutely love looking through people's bookshelves and seeing what they recommend, so I hope you guys can take some inspiration from mine and maybe find a new favorite book of yours. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, follow my social medias. They will be in the description box down below. I hope you all have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you guys are in the world, and I will see you guys in my next video.